Down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map on top of the green Terran player from Team Gravity, give it up for Semper.
Yeah, going to be really looking to bring something back, but we do see his opponent looking to close it out in the top left of Prion Terraces. The red Protoss from Clan on fire. It is Neeb. We see Semper is getting that supply depot on the high ground. As you know, that always is how it happens.
Yeah. Pylon going down near the Nexus.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen. We actually saw a game where that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so common.
Not so common.
Yeah. I saw that on the ladder when Scarlet was doing that in her off race. Yeah.
Oh.
Proxies on Orena.
Proxies on Arena.
That's a beautiful name for a soundtrack. Proxies on Orena.
I would listen to that soundtrack. Scarlet was singing in it.
Yep.
You know, Scarlet, she's very shy, but she actually does some great karaoke.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not seen that. It's
a rare occasion.
Sounds like a treat.
It happens after events.
Very nice. We do see the scout coming down from Neeb, as well as that gate gas nexus that he has been so fond of throughout this tournament, especially in PvT. We do see Semper. Now this is interesting. In this case, I feel that Masa would have seen that probe from the high ground and just tried to build that supply depot to block the scout.
Yeah.
But Semper deciding, no, that's not really worth it. Oh, nice job from Neeb. Going to check on that expansion, make sure it's coming down. And he knows exactly what's happening.
Yep, and of course, Prion Terraces is not a terrible map for some of those Reaper openings, as we do have the Reaper coming on out, going to be making its way across the map and just putting on a little bit of harassment, making sure that, of course, Neeb doesn't cut too many corners. But Neeb, having gone for that earlier Worker Scout, saw the Gas Geyser and knows, okay, I really probably don't want to cut either the Mothership Core or my Adeptor. Or I should say, you don't want to cut both of them for too long. You don't want to go for a really fast Stargate against a player that's going for the Reaper opening.
Yeah, certainly not. You're going to want to be able to make sure you don't take too much damage from that Reaper. And the Adept does offer you a lot of that defense. Nexus finishing up on the low ground, and that Adept popping out at pretty much the perfect time. But I think Semper's going to be fine, not going to lose the Reaper, just get chased away.
Prion Terraces has so many different ledges and cliffs that even if that Adept tries to chase you down with a Shade, as we end up seeing Neeb not even bothering to try and do, you can just very easily jump up a cliff and suddenly, oh, it's actually not a problem at all.
Yeah, we do see Semper going for that
pulling the boys! Transferring the workers.
Yeah, going for that, that quick starport and reactor on the factory and barracks. I wonder what he's going to do right here. Maybe Widow Mine drop? Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Neeb is going for that Stargate play. It's pretty much every game in either Stargate or Robo. You always see the tech building after that one gate. You never see something crazy like 3, 4, 5 gate. Reaper
getting very low, not quite going to be killed. Good control out of Semper.
Going to be trying to chase it down with that Shade is Neeb, though. I don't think he's going to catch it. No, not quite. Does get it. Oh, maybe got it right back in his vision, but cancels anyways at the last second. Oracle on the way for Neeb. Yeah, very common throughout his PvTs.
Yeah, I mean, the Oracle is great not only for potential revelations, it's great for doing the harassment if your opponent's playing a little bit too greedy. It gets scouting information. It's just such a great utility unit. In fact, we've even seen a couple of times the Stasis Wards end up doing some nice defensive plays. But here we go. We got a third command center on the way now behind all this for Semper. Third command center on the way for Neeb. Both of these players looking to take it toward the later stage of the game, but as you were saying, the reactor on that factory did build 2 Widow Mines, and we do have that medevac making its way across the map.
Yeah, Neeb going for that very quick third at the goal. It's going to get a real boost to his economy.
No third for you, says this Oracle.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty big difference when you're considering that Semper's probably going to be taking the normal mineral third base.
It certainly can make a big difference, but we do have the medevac drop coming in, seeing maybe if we can equalize a little bit of that economy, as photon overcharges are already going down, but they are going to be out of range of one of the Widow Mines.
Yes, does kill that first one before it can burrow, but oh, is he going to lose the medevac? Not
No,
quite.
yeah, he is. Oh, that safety Phoenix.
Feeling so safe.
I feel like anytime you get exactly one unit in the early game to defend against something, it should just be called the safety whatever. The safety Cyclone, the safety Phoenix.
Yeah, if you dance your unit, it's the safety dance.
Safety dance.
Do, 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 do. Men Without Hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song.
I'm just going to continue staring at you.
Simpler time. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I like it. Very handsome fella.
Widowmine about to come off of cooldown, but nothing to hit. And Revelation's thrown down, surprisingly. It's just that there's nothing that is ranged enough that it can actually attack it.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have an attack on the left side by Semper. Only 3 Stalkers here, and the Mothership Core is out of position.
Yeah, and a decent number of these probes have already gone down. Even the Stalker's going to be under a bit of fire, and no target fire going down on top of the medevac. In fact, just the Marines does manage to push this back with the Adepts joining in, but still a pretty successful bit of harassment from Semper.
Yeah, is down 8 workers, and that gold base is still up for Neeb, so Semper has to do damage or he's going to fall behind. But still, that is a nice start to it. Oh, wow, look at that, a gateway explosion. We don't really see that anymore. But Neeb saying, yes, you do. You see that all the time.
Yeah,
You're seeing it right now.
I will say this actually looks a lot like what he was doing on, I believe it was Dust Towers, where you just plant down 10 gateways and really start to go ham on that production, because you have to remember, he's not getting up a robotics facility for, you know, a lot of the disruptor production, because he doesn't have a robotics bay. He's not getting up a bunch of Tempests right now. He's not getting up Templar Archives. He's going on pure gateway units, so he needs to have a lot of them, and he also needs to have them well upgraded.
Yes, and we do see actually really nice Widow Mine drops from Semper, denying mining at both gold bases. That is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. And gonna actually maybe be able to do a little bit more damage, but it looks like I think Neeb is on to the shenanigans over here. The Observer should be popping out pretty soon. Should be able to clean up those remaining. Well, no, that's an Immortal coming out actually. Is there any Observer coming to that natural expansion?
I do not believe that there is.
There might
Maybe
be
from
probes and a Stalker or two going down.
If he can target fire this
Oh,
Widow Mine.
6 workers! Wow! And 10 workers killed. Oh my god, okay, suddenly that worker advantage you were talking about is gone with just those 2 Widowmine hits.
Yeah, that's actually a really big deal and a pretty big mistake from Neeb, falling quite far behind in supply now.
Oh, he did get both of the Widowmines with that Revelation. That would have been actually terrible if he only got one of them. I was like, did one Widowmine kill all of those workers? I guess I only needed to kill this one Widowmine.
Yeah, and then it comes in and kills another 6 workers, but we see Semper. You know what? I found success with that past 4 Widowmine drop. I'm going to do it again. But Neeb on the hunt. Oh, looking to blink forward, is going to get that Widowmine drop. One gets out, but not going to be able to burrow in time.
Wow. Really, really good game sense from Neeb. And is going to actually retreat back as he knows that Semper tends to attack in 2s, and the other attack is coming along that top side, but there's no medevac. Okay, the medevacs are a little bit further behind joining this. There's even going to be a Marine and a Widowmine burrowing at that potential 4th expansion, but is Semper going to be lacking the units back at home to defend? He does not have the siege tanks he usually does in these situations.
No, he doesn't, but having those liberation zones and bunkers could help a lot. But if you look at the army supply, Neeb is actually quite far ahead.
Yeah, but we do have the drop on the other side of the map. Going to be depowering a lot of these pylons. If Semper can get enough of these, even takes out the robotic facility, then maybe he can actually start to stabilize. He pulls Neeb all the way back. He's even killing more workers right now.
Yeah, this is a really successful drop from Semper, showing why he's been so good throughout this tournament. And even loading up, is he going to go to the main, going to go to the 3rd base? You know what, I'd actually be okay if he just sat between the main and 3rd, or sorry, main and natural. In this case, he's actually going to sit between the natural and 3rd potentially, and just keep Neeb at home.
Yeah, I mean, that safety Phoenix has been forgotten about for a long time. He's protecting that waterfall, and the medevacs are going to be making their way along the left side. But, oh, Neeb, he's onto it. The Stalkers are there, but there's only 3 Stalkers with them right now. Oh, my God, these scans are so good from Semper right now, because he's actually joining this army with the rest of it, and he even has a couple of ghosts in the mix.
Yeah, those are some very forward ghosts. Quite ahead of the army, but that's so many Adepts with Resonating Glaives. Does cancel, recognizing some Widow Mines on top of that army. Doesn't want to take big hits, recognizing that his worker count is in shambles. He needs to do a lot with this army, so he can't be affording to take big hits from those Widow Mines.
And we have a very dangerous situation over here as, once again, Neeb pushing on in, but this time Semper, his army is more together, and he actually has a lot more to defend, but the positioning is going to be so important. He needs to make sure those good Widowmine hits go off, and he also has to make sure that those Adepts aren't also getting those Widowmine hits on too much of his own Bioforce.
Yeah, it's really going to come down, I think, to the EMPs, as this is such an adept-heavy army. Meanwhile, we see a big warp in at the natural of Semper. Nice by Neeb. Going to force a big split from Semper.
Oh no, Semper might not be splitting at all. He's pulling almost everything except for the Ghost back. Now pulling a couple of these Marines back over here to defend this third location, and he pulls the majority of the army back. But this is still going to leave him in a very, very awkward spot. He's even going to end up losing that Ghost Academy. But where are the EMPs? EMPs do go down some of these Adepts, but not. Where are the rest of them?
That's a good question. He still has 1 or 2 EMPs left. Those Adepts, yeah, he keeps canceling the shades, but actually a really good concave for Neeb. Ooh, moves into a bit of a tighter choke. Still hard to say who's holding this. I think Semper might have held.
Adepts are doing so much damage, though, and this army is still so low. Warp Prism still moving around. I like the fact that Semper's trying to go for that Warp Prism because he knows how important it is right now. And actually, though, I think all these units may be trapped. The Blink Stalkers can try and blink out down to the low ground, but Semper is holding on. The problem is the Adepts have killed off 27 workers. Amazingly enough, though, it is actually close to even working counts because really behind all this, there have been no more probes made for Neeb.
Yeah, Neeb was really committing to this attack, hoping it would do damage. Is Neeb going to be going back into work production? Not yet.
Oh my god, how many attempts? Oh, how many kills does this Widowmine have? 1 kill. Okay, so that is the first probe is killed, trying to take a 4th expansion. Thank god. That can be one of those frustrating situations where you think you threw down the 4th and you're like, wait, I thought I threw down the 4th. Let me send another probe over there. And then you go back to microing your army and find out 3 minutes later you don't have a 4th still.
I've done that more than a couple times with drones, and you think, oh, I must not have sent it over, so you sent another one, and then another one, and then it's your 4th one that finally realized there's a Widowmine.
Oh, I love this decision from Neeb, from Neeb to go for the really delayed Oracle. I don't love this decision to go for the gold expansion in the center of the map. Neeb, I know that you're feeling good. I know that you're probably feeling okay after having done a lot of damage over there, but you are losing a lot of stuff in your mineral line in the natural expansion, and spreading yourself out even thinner is going to make it even harder to defend.
Yeah, we did see that drop get pushed away from the 3rd, but of course it's Semper. There's going to be another drop, and the one in the natural, as you said, doing a lot of damage. Pylon Overcharge is going to push it back from the main, but keeping that drop is going to keep Neeb having a lot of army at home.
Yeah, and here we go. Now Neeb is going to try and do this attack across the map. There are, again, some EMPs left over. EMPs on all of the sentries, as well as that Immortal Hardened Shields is now going to be down. But I would say that I really like Neeb's position a lot better than I like Semper's.
Bit of a flank coming in by those Marines, but the Stalkers and Immortals are going to turn around.
Oh, but it looks like Semper is starting to pick up a little bit of tempo right now as he's starting to push on through. The Widowmine's also not even needing to be used over here, as that drop is also still continuing to do damage on the other side of the map. The Safety Phoenix finally comes in, cleans up those medevacs, but the damage has already been done. Neeb is down to 23 workers to the 27 of Semper, but the difference is one of them is mining, the other one is actually not mining.
This is just so scrappy right now from both players. And look at the supplies. They're so even. Neeb does have that army supply advantage, but his income, and if we look at the upgrades in production...
What is this mothership core doing?
Recalling, that's the weirdest mothership core.
It's like, I'm going to attack this Oh, I'm in the wrong side of the neighborhood.
Lock the doors.
Lock the doors. Roll up the windows.
Yeah.
There's Widowmines about. Scans going down, and Semper confirms, yes, you are in fact dead broke right now. Most of the mining is actually happening in the natural expansion, not at the 3rd expansion. And we'll see if Semper, is there even a purpose, I guess, in going for the multi-pronged harassment? I think there still is, taking out those production facilities, and even the pylons is going to be a brutal blow to Neeb right now. He really cannot afford to actually remake those. But here we go, Neeb putting on that pressure at the same time, Semper going for the snipe on that 3rd. But it's the natural expansion that's most of the economy again.
Yeah, and I like this decision from Semper, abandoning that original 3rd location. Neeb might be able to snipe down this command center, but he's going to be losing so much at home to the drop.
I mean, and the 4th expansion is a planetary fortress. He's going to be able to hold on there for a little bit. And in the meanwhile, he kills off the natural expansion. He kills off and shuts down all mining from Neeb whatsoever. And again, that planetary fortress is going to be taking cost-effective trades. Now Semper sees his opportunity. He's going to try and come with the flank. Planetary fortress at the front. The Marines and Marauders from the backside. SCV's even off the line. The Immortal goes down. The Stalkers are trading pretty efficiently. The planetary fortress is enough. And Semper puts his name on the board.
He has got to be feeling really good after that game. didn't want to get 3-0'd by Neeb, says to himself, you know what? I've got this. I am playing so well at this tournament. I'm going to turn it on. And he starts his transformation to Super Saiyan 1.
There we go. It's not a Super Saiyan story without the first fall, where you have to make it look like you're getting owned. You have to make it look like you're getting a little bit of pressure. Then you have that sudden transformation, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you just start wreck-rolling your opponent.
Yeah. Popping that Sensu Bean. Healing up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Going Kaioken 3.
Yeah. Both players get the Sensu Bean between every match.
Yeah, they do, actually. But since Semper is a Saiyan, every time he heals, he gets a little bit stronger. Every time he's that close to death, he gets stronger. Yeah.
That is true. That is very, very true. As long as he comes back to life, he's going to be sitting fine. Not every player feels that way. There are some players who are just regular humans, the Krillins of the world, I would say.
Yeah.
I am definitely a Krillin of the world. I actually feel weaker every time I come back.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more of a Chaozu.
A Chaozu?
Yeah. You
just bailing bust every game?
Yeah. It's even against Nappa when it's not going to do anything.
Didn't actually do anything?
Yeah, I bailing bust against,
You're like bailing bust the Terran player that actually has like 3 degrees of walling in.
That's an awkward feeling when you try and do that. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I tried to proxy Rax? It was Show. Proxy Rax him in a tournament I played him in.
Yeah.
He didn't lose a single unit because he just walled off and repaired.
That's
So that's kind of how I would feel Chaozu would be. It'd be like this. You're self-destructing.
Yeah, that's a rough moment for sure.
No, Ruff is pretty good at proxy raxing.
This guy right here.
But ladies and gentlemen, map number 4 is going to be Dusk Towers, one of the maps that normally we end up seeing a little bit earlier in the series, but we are going to be seeing it as game number 4. I would say Semper has definitely picked up a little bit of momentum. We'll see if we can carry it on through to this game number 4, though. It's still going to be a bit of an uphill battle. He's still got to win 2 games in a row versus the one and only Neeb.
Yeah, he does need to hit that Kaioken 4 and 5 and finally hit that Super Saiyan.
And not only that, but you have to remember, one of the things that was going on in that game is I actually felt like Neeb was sitting in a pretty good position. And the thing that really just triggered the transformation to go Super Saiyan was when those Widow Mines killed off those 10 extra workers. That was the moment. That was the exact moment where the entire pace of the game changed.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And it wasn't just that they killed those workers, it was that they had recharged to kill those workers. That just that feels so gross.
And that's the thing about that game that I always have to feel like I have to put an asterisk on, because it's one of those situations where you're like, well, that was a kind of big blunder by Neeb. And normally we like to talk about the good decisions and everything that players make and everything, but that was one of those situations where it was just very clearly Neeb made a blunder, and that kind of allowed Semper that opportunity to not only make a bit of a comeback in the game, but build up momentum for the comeback. So it's kind of a question of, does Neeb feel like the momentum is reset as we get ready to hop into game number 4, or does that momentum carry over from the last game?
Yeah, that's a good question. When something's, I don't want to say fluky, but uncommon by a player, it definitely does. It is something that maybe is in the back of your head, it's like, it's fine, I'll just make an adjustment. But of course you do have to make that adjustment, and both Neeb and Semper, to be honest, don't have a ton of lane experience just yet. No. And I feel that this is probably the first time Neeb has been playing on a day 3 of a tournament, I think, to date.
I think that may very well be true. I'm not going to quote you on that, and nor will I confirm nor deny that. I'll just say it may be true. And I'm sure people in the chat are like, well, that's clearly true. That's clearly